Same 11 as normal, and same back four there with Danny Mills and Ian Hart as the fullbacks. I'm sure they're going to want to get the ball out to them very quickly, because I think they've got to have good tempo at the start of the match. And of course, the lovely thing about Leeds is Ferdinand and Matteo can both use the ball as well. Middle three with Lee Bowyer and Bakker and Dacour, all excellent on the ball. I expect Bakker to get into the box very late, use his height and score goals, exactly, especially what Lee Bowyer will do as well. So again, it's a nice fluid system. And the front three, I think Harry Kewell's going to have a bit more of a free role tonight. I'm sure he's going to get at the right-sided defender of the opposition, but I'm sure he'll be all over the place with Viduka and Keane. Both very good with their back to goal, both also good to taking people on. So I'm expecting goals from Leeds tonight.
Well, Troyes' best-known player is the striker Patrice Loco, who reached 2 European finals with Paris Saint-Germain. Fellow forward Samuel Boutal scored twice at Newcastle and hit a hat-trick against the Slovakian side to help his side through to the first round of the UEFA Cup. And there's a third attacker, Nicolas Gousset. That suggests Leeds should be on their guard tonight. Two important midfield players are missing, though, Saifi and Touré, though Touré is named as one of the substitutes. The defence is built around two Algerian internationals, Bradja and Meniri.
Well, I think they're going to play with a back three. I know that they probably want their wing-backs to push forward, but I think that I'm not sure they're going to be allowed to do a lot of that tonight. But the middle two defenders, Bradja and Meniri, I'm sure are going to be picking up Keane and Viduka with Danyu spare. But as I say, I think they're going to be more like a back five tonight, because I'm not so sure they're going to get a lot of the ball to get their wing-backs out. I think it'd be like a 3-4-3, so Amzine and Rotten are going to be in there against the best of Leeds. I think in the midfield, I think that the legs of Leeds are going to hurt any team, and I think that they will outrun them tonight. But you know, they're going to need to make sure they stay in the front of the back three there. The front
three up away from home.
Yes, well, I think that that could be a little bit to frustrate Leeds, to stop them coming out so much with the ball. But I do feel that no matter what you do against Leeds, I think their fullbacks will come out and hurt the opposition. You know.
Well, it's a break from the pressures of front running in the Premiership for Leeds United. A rich tradition of European nights at Elland Road, and if the UEFA Cup doesn't quite carry the cachet of the Champions League, Leeds nevertheless are determined to do well in it. As for Troyes, it's a town about 100 miles southeast of Paris, the Champagne region of France, as you've heard, and their football certainly has a fizz to it. Certainly is an attacking side, but they do have a reputation for being more Van Ordinaire defensively. Weaknesses that Leeds will want to fully exploit in this first leg of the second round. Remarkably, this is Troyes' 21st game already this season. They're 11th in Europe, qualifying for the UEFA Cup via the Intertoto competition, eliminating Newcastle United in pretty extraordinary circumstances via that 4-4 draw at St James's Park and the application of the away goals rule.
Well done, mate. I think you
Danjou, the captain, leads with Lee Bowyer there. He hasn't been able to train with his teammates this week, but no suggestion of leaving him out for David O'Leary. And of the current squad, Bowyer is the Leeds player with the best eye for goal in Europe, 11 goals in UEFA competitions so far. And he was truly outstanding in the Champions League campaign over the previous season. Some inside knowledge on tonight's opposition from Leeds' own French international, Olivier Dacour. This is Samuel Boutal, who has an extraordinary record this season. He scored 10 goals already, 9 of them in European games. 31 years old and a pretty distinctive character. David O'Leary and the Troyes coach Alain Perrin. It's quite a thing that Perrin has manifested for the French club. The growth from the lower French leagues into their top division. Just wonder where his career will take him from this position. He's had no great background in the game as a player, but there are some pretty good French coaches around these days, and here's another one to add to your list. The officials from Spain, referee Fernando Carmona Mendez, a 40-year-old lawyer. It's a mild night in West Yorkshire. Perfect conditions, really. Troyes enjoyed their training session here last night. They raised some eyebrows at Leeds Bradford Airport yesterday by arriving in 2 14-seater light aircraft. Well, that's because their local airport caters only for small planes. Leeds will fly to a military airfield a bit further away in a much larger jet in a couple of weeks' time. They will be hoping to make that journey with a good advantage secured from tonight. But the message from Bobby Robson and Newcastle, who went out, remember, to Troyes in the final stages of the Intertoto competition, is underestimate Troyes at your peril. And here's Ian Hart and Rio Ferdinand. Danny Mills at right back. Say one of the 3 nominated attackers for Troyes, and in the centre of that trio is Boutal, with Loco on the right-hand side.
Also, Bradger's marking Keane all the way, actually, Martin.
Moten with the throw, with a free kick rather, and trying to just toss it up in there for Troyes to attack. And here's Harry Kewell, Robbie Keane on the move already. It's played through midfield, and Bakker. Now Bowyer. Knocked off by Gousset. Leroy. Boutal, he can keep going to the right. Amzine, a Moroccan international, has a shot, and it's a decent one too. But Nigel Martyn has to turn aside from a player that Martin probably won't remember, but he faced England for Morocco in Casablanca just before the World Cup finals of '98. You might remember him now for that strike.
Well, I must admit they've started very confidently. I think that they're nice and casual on the ball, and as I say, it's a long distance, and he fancied a try.
Tall defender Meniri, and Boutal in by the goalkeeper. Boutal gets a foot to it. Martin decides to leave it to the outfield players to try and win a header. They win 2 in fact. And Keane tries to spring Leeds forward, but at the moment they're a little bit on the back foot. 1 or 2 of the Leeds staff were a bit surprised to see the Troyes players arrive for the match wearing jeans. They are sponsored by a leisure gear manufacturer.
Well, they are playing the 3-4-3, as I say, a very confident team at the minute. Apart from that pass back.
They come into this game, Peter, with a marvellous result in the French First Division last weekend. They beat Auxerre, the first club to beat Auxerre this season, and they did it in Auxerre by 3-1.
Well, it'd be interesting if they played the same system away from home, you know, in France, because it looks like they play with a centre forward with 2 inside forwards, which is very hard to mark. Rio and Dominic Matteo have got to think about who's going to push in, and with fullbacks as well.
Cool. Now Marc Viduka. Away by Leroy. Leroy again. Gousset looking up with Roten. Unfortunate pronunciation of the name. A very good player, Jérôme Roten. A lot of transfer interest in France for him, and he comes from the outskirts of Paris, and I think has been announcing that he has an ambition to play for Paris Saint-Germain, but Troyes don't want to sell him at the moment.
Well, it's not the tempo I thought Leeds were going to start at, but I think it's a long way. It's 2 legs, and there's a long time to go, so you mustn't give anything away early doors. But I think once they get their feet, then they'll start to play.
Keane. Made space for a cross, awkward for the goalkeeper, didn't deal with it decisively. Viduka trying to tee up Bouya, and brought out by Gousset. Boutal. Danjou. He's played in England before for the France under-18 team in a tournament that England won back in 1993 against the likes of Robbie Fowler and Paul Scholes and Gary Neville. David Beckham wasn't good enough to get in that particular squad, believe it or not.
Late starter.
Bouya, who wins it from Boutal. Viduka hasn't scored a goal at Elland Road this season. He has now. 5 minutes. It's taken him tonight. Well, a man with a bit between his teeth.
Well, people talk about him that he's got great feet for a big man, and you see it here. Lee Bouya does ever so well. Now look at the feet, the clever feet. Lovely finish. Even though he's got round him, he's still got a bit to do, and he's struck it really well.
All his own work. Marc Viduka, 1-0 Leeds.
Well, that was from Leeds closing down high up the field there, because Lee Bouya has pushed in as he always does. Great energy. Won an important tackle, and that's started with the first goal.
Roten. Alain Perrin watched Leeds at Leicester, and they got 6, of course, without reply, and was made well aware of the attacking force. Viduka did score in that game, but goals have been generally in short supply for the Australian. He got 1 at Arsenal, his only other goal this season, back in August. Mills with the throw, and Danjou just getting across in time.
Well, I think the back three and the wing backs are going to be tested tonight defensively, because, as I say, the energy of Leeds United, and if it's not the right wingers or right wide players coming forward, it's then the fullbacks coming in.
Roger trying to do that job on Robbie Keane, and that's going to be difficult in itself. Keane has been in irresistible form recently. And maybe that hat-trick at Filbert Street that he got persuaded Alain Perrin that he needed special attention tonight. Comes off Thomas. Leroy is there. Meniri. Played wide by Braja. Loco. Boutal. Well, the joy of tonight is that Troyes are better in attack than they are in defence, so even here in an away game, especially after conceding an early goal, they might try and work to those attacking strengths, and we could be richly entertained at both ends of the pitch.
Well, as I say, I think Leeds are not only a good team, I think they're a good counter-attacking team when they play away from home as well, and so if they can take any kind of lead to France, to me, that's going to be good enough.
Rotte. Now Leroy. Taken by the upper arm, it looked, but not to the referee. Backer with the tackle on the Loco. Nicely played by Ferdinand into the feet of Dacour. Backer continues to keep his place in midfield. David Batty into the starting 11 at the moment. Braja. Butal. Rotten. Nice little interplay there, but the attempted through ball for Gousset was overhit. Leeds have had plenty of pre-match help from Newcastle. Chats with Bobby Robson, some videos being lent. And there was a reserve game between Leeds and Newcastle earlier in the week, which Alan Smith got some important match action in. The Troyes situation was discussed, I understand.
It just shows you the strength of Leeds for Alan Smith to not be in the starting lineup. And the former Robbie Keane.
Amzi, whose shot was turned away well by Martin before Leeds got their early goal. A bit too deep, the delivery from Thomas, who's one of the players brought in tonight who didn't start the game at Auxerre, but did come on as a substitute and score in it, Peter, sorry. That's
no problem. I think that's the system they're trying to do. They're trying to get one of their forwards, one of their wide men, running the fullbacks away and getting the wing-backs in late, and it's unfortunately overhit it there.
Viduka has lost out. Tidied up by Hart. Good interception by Mehdi Leroy. Danny Mills examined there defensively, got it away, but only as far as Loco. Will have to play it, and Lee stops the corner.
Well, people criticise Hart a little bit for defensive reasons, but I thought he stood up nice and patient there.
Amzi. Cool. He's no stranger to playing defensively down the left-hand side. He was a left-back in a very successful Leeds youth team 3 or 4 years ago. Cleared by Matteo, can also play left-back if necessary. Quite well blessed with left-sided players. And of course, in Seth Johnson, they're about to acquire another one.
Very nice too. Nice problem to have.
Leroy. Rotten. These two both left-footed as well. Gousset gets it back to Leroy. Comes off Lee Bowyer, drops for Ferdinand. Dacour. Viduka, a couple of avenues on the right-hand side, chose the option of Bowyer. Kuhl. Now Thomas. Crossed by Leroy. Butal was almost coming underneath the ball. He finally did get a touch and he was on the way down. Good hold up play here by Keane. And Ranieri sliding in. You're looking to involve Kuhl, of whom we haven't seen too much as an attacker as yet. Ranieri, both sides giving the ball away, but it's broken for Hart. Looks for Viduka, he's found him. Huge gap for the Australian, who looked as the ball didn't run quite as it would have wanted for the most flamboyant of finishes. Didn't quite come off for Mark Viduka.
Well, there's a great ball in there from Ramian Hart there, and I thought his first touch unfortunately took him too far, then he tried a real bit of skill. Leeds are actually not playing that well, but you know, they could be 2 up.
Matteo. and they again could have been 2-0 up. That was Keane. It really flew at him.
As I say, I think David O'Leary won't be over the moon the way they're performing at the minute, but they are creating the chances, and as you mentioned earlier, defensively, perhaps that's not Troyes' strength.
Meniri underhit it. There's quite a difference in status here. Troyes operate on a budget of £10 million for the entire season. And they're playing against a club who spent £18 million on the fellow who just got a foot in there, Rio Ferdinand.
To be fair to Troyes, they've definitely stopped the Leeds back four coming out by playing the front three, and that is limiting the attacks at the minute.
Matteo. Back has gone into a central striking position with Viduka dropping into midfield with the ball played to his feet. Now it's Keane in the middle ahead of Matteo, but they keep it short through midfield again, do Leeds. Not in the end successfully. Boutal. Thomas. Nasty work with Loco. Gousset's gone to the near post, and Boutal missed his kick. Now Amzine. Plenty of players in blue forward. Rotten. Amzine winding up again. Goalkeeper is Tony Urtebis, former French under-21 international. He's probably come here expecting a busy evening tonight. There's work at the other end for Nigel Martin, but for a strong call, he sorts that situation out as Gousset made a forward run in from the left-hand side.
Yeah, this is the situation now. This is where I would like to see Danny Mills and Hart coming out a lot more. They've got to come out quickly, otherwise it'll give the front three time to recover and put a wall in front of them.
Kiel. Stopped by Thomas. Haven't had the best of luck, Troyes, since coming here. One of their players got injured training last night, although, as I mentioned earlier, he is named amongst the substitutes, Turenne. And another player was found to be ineligible this morning. And they only brought 17 when 18 are the usual complement for a European game. But you have to put in a squad list of 25 players to UEFA. And the work from those 25, well, one of the 17 they brought wasn't on the list of 25, so he's not able to take part. So the options for Troyes are a bit limited from the bench tonight.
They do look very comfortable on the ball, I've got to say. I don't like them defensively. I think there's fancy there to be goals for Leeds, but on the ball they're quite comfortable.
Gousset. Boutal. Backer. And Keane, yes, he did start to make a movement towards the ball. Keane should be given offside here. That was the first decision. The flag went up, though it might have been a foul subsequently.
It was unlucky. It was a good bit of skill from Bakker there. It was very unlucky. I think Robbie realised in the end that he shouldn't have made the move.
Loire, who played against Arsenal in the UEFA Cup for Nantes season before last. Lacour played against Arsenal that same season for Lens. Amzine. Forward by Meniri, but Gousset caught offside. Bradja. Mattia with a surge of ambition from the back. And Robbie Keane is through. Wonderful stop by Ertebis, who is really getting exposed here by some dreadful lack of cover by Troyes.
Well, I just think that they're very light in midfield, so when Leeds win the ball and get at them quickly, they haven't got enough bodies there, and that's the problem when you play 3 people up front. I think Robbie will be disappointed he hasn't finished it.
Corner for Leeds. Ferdinand climbing. But David O'Leary's team have been through on the goalkeeper 3 times already and just taken one of those 3 chances. Menieri took his eye off the ball. That's a dangerous thing to do with Keane around. He was looking for Viduka. I think would have been given offside had the pass got through.
I'm sure David, before the game, Martin was saying, really get at them. You know, they're good players on the ball, but defensively not so sure. And put them under as much pressure as you can. I would say Leeds must have a height advantage here as well, so if it's good service.
Backer. With a header that Mark Viduka got in the way of.
I don't think he's going to talk to him. He's on a goal bonus, I think.
Well, that's a certain goal, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Scored 1 and stopped 1, Viduka. Backer understandably not best pleased. Danjou to Thomas. Troyes currently standing 7th in the French First Division. The league headed by Lille, and of course lost in the Champions League last night, much to Manchester United's relief.
Yes, that was a very handy result for them. While it's 1-0, Leeds have got to be very careful because, as you can see, I think there's plenty of goals in it for them, but you mustn't let the opposition get back in.
Now, the importance of a clean sheet when well, in any European game, but when you're at home in the first leg, often emphasised.
Well, again, I think Leeds being the team they are, you know, if they go away and they only have a 1-0 lead, it means the opposition have got to come at them and they can pass and counter-attack really quickly to get another win.
You didn't pick Nigel Martin for your England team, he was too old.
He was too old, yes. I looked at the birth certificate and said, sorry, Nigel, your history. He did understand, though.
Yes. I think the vast majority, maybe not all of the 30-plussers, but everybody understood what you were trying to do, Peter, and that was that 11 months ago now.
Yes, that time flies.
There's the number 11 for Leeds United, Lee Bowyer. Boutal. Leroy. Uses a right foot to get it forward. Pure. Support from Dacour. Chance for Pure to trick Thomas here. The Troyes defender stuck to his task, and in the end Leeds just get a throw. Halfway through the first half, they look very threatening, but haven't always passed the ball as well as we know they can. Viduka forcing it on to Bowyer. It is 2-0 now. Lee Bowyer with that eye for goal, especially in Europe.
Well, pleased for Lee Bowyer because he's been all over the place tonight. He's been winning tackles, and he deserves that. He always picks up the second things. Viduka's done well, turned the defender, made a good challenge to get the ball through to Boyer. There's a good finish, still a lot to do again, left-footed, done well to keep it down.
Well, he's a remarkable player, and also a person who remains focused in difficult times personally, and he certainly kept his head down and struck the ball sweetly, and it's really no more than Leeds have been threatening to do.
So there's lots of times tonight, Martin, where he's won tackles that a lot of people don't see, you know, and he does so well for the team. He's made the first goal and scored the second one.
Bowyer for England is the cry, and one hopes for Lee Bowyer's sake that any restrictions that are currently imposed upon him in terms of selection by Sven-Göran Eriksson will be removed. D'accord.
I think Leeds will settle down a bit more now with that second goal. I think you might see a bit more crisper passing now.
Matteo. Troyes conceded 4 goals at St James's Park, but got 4 of their own. It was 0-0 in France the first leg. Newcastle scored early in the second leg, and then Troyes got the next 4 goals in that match, and then it must have shown the sort of defensive vulnerability that we've seen already tonight. It got back to 4-4, but Newcastle needed a 5th, which never happened. Knowles with the throw. Butel having to play left back momentarily. Central striker. Done well, Danny Mills, over the last 7 or 8 months to establish himself as the first choice right back for Leeds United. Made progress into the England squad as well. Got that sort of pace and power that Sven-Göran Eriksson seems to like from his players. D'accord. Kewell on the run. It's Harry Kewell coming in and just knocked away from him by Bradger. It's a very important touch defensively.
Well, D'accord is another one. You don't see, everybody thinks about his passing, but the tackles that he wins, and what a pass that was.
Loco. Uche is on the side, but not enough bend on the pass. Another reminder for Leeds, they've got to keep their concentration at the back. It must be very tempting in these circumstances to be really gung-ho. Now Bowyer's played a careless one. Loco. Almost a ricochet to Butel could control it.
Lee Bowyer's a fabulous player, Martin, but if he's got a fault, it's sometimes he goes for the World Cup willy balls, you know. and when you play at this level, to go middle third and lose the ball on a square ball, it's normally danger. I'm sure David O'Leary will be reminding him of that.
You and Dave Bassett have the same turn of phrase.
Do we?
The World Cup willy ball.
I thought he was going to say we had the same jobs as well.
Well, there's something in that as well, isn't there? This is Butel.
So Butel is playing a bit more behind the front two now. He's trying to help out the midfield a little bit, I think, defensively.
Led by Danjou, but not very far, and he's back on the ball again. He's just returned to French football from a couple of years in Spain with Oviedo. Well, won by Butel, not so well collected by Gousset. It's a really big period of the season for Leeds coming up, because they've got Chelsea here on Sunday. It's our Super Sunday main feature. The next game is away to Manchester United, and in November they face matches without Kewell and Viduka, who will be away with Australia, and also, of course, they've got 4 Republic of Ireland internationals in the first team squad, and one of them, Ian Hart, on the ball here, who will be required for World Cup playoff matches. Kewell really whipped it across, not far away from Keane.
Great save from the goalkeeper as well, very positive. I think that is the problem that Troyes has got, that Leeds can get down the side, especially the left-hand side, because they're playing Harry Kewell more as a left winger.
That's foul on Amzine. Almost half an hour gone. Profitable time for Leeds United in the UEFA Cup. Boutal in front of Ian Hart to make the header. Chance to remind you what's coming up. Premiership Plus, Newcastle against Tottenham. That's channel 433. 1:30 on Sunday, and our Super Sunday, as I say, main feature, Leeds against Chelsea. Both sides unbeaten in the Premiership. Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra.
Some of the movement of the Leeds players is really good to watch, you know, and there's times where Backers goes just to get the ball off of Rio Ferdinand, and Liboya changes over with Decourt.
That's a great ball by Gousset. Loco's got round Nigel Martyn, and he's tucked it away with real quality. Well, that's the Champagne side of Troyes football.
Well, Leeds could have switched off a little bit, but it was a fantastic ball. Great reverse pass. Saw his run. Great pace. He's took it superbly. So I'm not sure Leeds did go to sleep there. I think it was just a great ball and a great finish.
Well, Patrice Loco, who's played 26 times for France. Something about a checkered career. He's had problems off the field. But Troyes have given him another chance to express himself in the best company in the French First Division and now in Europe as well. It's an away goal for Alain Perrin's men, and a very good one from Loco. His 2 previous goals for the club would come in the first leg of the first round of the UEFA Cup. It's a side from Slovakia. And that's Olivier Thomas. He's got to be careful here. He's had a couple of yellow cards in Europe already. The third means a suspension.
Unfortunately, it's the wrong side for Hart to have one of his benders. I'm sure he can hit one of the heads.
Ferdinand and Bakker waiting for maybe that exact style of delivery. A right footer over the ball in Olivier Dacourt.
Well, we've seen him shoot from here as well, to be fair.
And up by Hart. Bakker going in, put in by Viduka, but the whistle was in the act of going, and Eric Bakker not having much luck in this first half. Foul by him.
Well, I think he did touch him, but I'm not so sure he touched him before the goalkeeper touched the ball. So I'm not convinced that's a good decision, that.
Well, there's no doubt that Eric Bakker totally agrees with you, Peter. It's one of those that goalkeepers tend to get, isn't it?
They do.
He's looking to restore the 2-goal cushion, and Gousset has put Viduka in here. And again, he was looking for something that requires a high level of technique, and he didn't quite get the high level of the ball that he was looking for as he tried to stub his toe into the ball to lift it up over Urtubise. It was Gousset who put Loco in for the goal at the other end, who put Mark Viduka in at the wrong end for Troyes. It's a very eventful first half at Elland Road.
Yeah, well, both teams there are giving the ball away in bad areas. I think Mark Viduka there will be very disappointed. I think David O'Leary will not be happy with him there because, to me, he should have scored. He tried to be too clever there, and I thought a little one on the side of the goalkeeper was on. He tried to go over the top.
They look great when they go in.
Yeah, there's enough time and enough space, I think, for it to go in, but he's a goal scorer, I'm not.
Walker with a free kick, and travelled a long way.
Well, on chances, should be 4 or 5, shouldn't it?
But the ball's a foot or so the other way, and maybe it's 2-2.
Exactly.
Raja, Gousset, who always tackles as though he means it. There have been some rumours around Leeds United that Dacour might be leaving the club in a big money transfer. But David O'Leary has been insisting that it's bringing players in that matters to him at the moment.
Well, he would be a major miss because I think he's another one of these French midfield players who's got everything.
And he's struggling to get into the front side on a regular basis. He has won 3 cups now.
Well, I think that's because they are so strong, isn't it?
Viduka again not quite getting the accuracy to go with the ambition, shall we say, of some of his flicks and nicks and his layoffs.
Yeah, it's one of those things. They look fantastic when they come off, but when they don't, it looks sloppy and it looks lazy, and the manager does get annoyed.
He's on the move, Mark Viduka, at the moment. They had 4 up almost in a line. Keane just a little deeper than the other 3, and Bacca likewise now. Q. This is Dacour taking Amzi with him. And often concedes the corner. Seth Johnson watching, and we understand that he will come out onto the pitch at half-time to formally sign for Leeds United. Kewell. It's Ferdinand wide right. Kewell, who used his right foot now to check onto the left one and to put it onto Robbie Keane's head, and the header was in the end a long way away from the target.
Again, that was good play. Great early ball from Lee Bowyer. Nice little push through for Rio. I think everybody thought he was going to cross it there, but great ball. I think Robbie would be disappointed with that.
Gousset. First season in European competition. Alain Perrin putting out a side against a club with a deep history in Europe. Leeds have won the UEFA Cup in its former guise, the Fairs Cup. Onto Viduka, who didn't flinch, and now gets Rotten booked by taking the free kick deliberately against him. I suppose he's entitled to do that because Rotten wasn't conceding any ground.
Yeah, I think that's disappointing, that one, Mark. I think that Viduka really has tried to get him booked, and I think at that particular time he was walking that way. I'm not so sure that's right. A warning there. Give him a chance.
Well, that's because the culture is let the player go back slowly. If they had to go straight away, he was in the wrong place.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah. I think Mark there wasn't ready to take it anyway, you know.
No, it did look very calculated, I must say. But I'm sure as manager, Peter, you've told the players to stop the opposition from taking their free kicks too quickly.
Would I?
You'd be the first one who didn't if you did. See what I mean? But anyway, Jérôme Rotten will feel that there was maybe something rotten in the mind of Mark Viduka for doing it as he did then. Really gives referee a little option. Meniri. Out by Dacour. Bacca. And Leeds get their 2-goal cushion back before half-time. Viduka. Kuhl. Here's Keane. Bowie's in the centre.
Great individual skill there. Great little ball here from Kuhl. And I think Robbie really should have just got it a touch lower. And again, Lee Bowyer, that's why he scores so many goals, because he gets in the box all the time.
Mattia. Ferdinand just taking a bit too long. Vital able to block the intended ball forward. Milks. Foul by Meniri. Just trying to get very tight on Mark Viduka, maybe too tight.
Leeds are that good. I think you just, you know, I'm looking here and I'm thinking to myself, they can just up it. Everybody can just up it now, up the level, and go on and win it at a stroll. But I'm sure that isn't the case, but it's just how it looks. I think David will not believe that it's only 2-1 at half-time. But it might be 3.
Hart. Headed down by Bacca. Yes, 2-1 is a poor return for the shape of the game to this point. And the chances that Leeds have created. And now target a free kick through the enthusiastic pursuing by Gousset. He's their record signing, £1 million from Metz. Anjou up from the back, and Meniri as well. Oh, Nigel Martin kept it out from Boutal's header, I think it was.
So that was a fantastic ball. Some of the service on the set pieces tonight has been excellent. Got some great left footers.
Tidied up by Ferdinand at the cost of a corner. It was Boutal.
Yeah, very difficult for Nigel there. He can't move, doesn't know if anybody's going to get a touch or not.
Boutal again! Same 2 players. Jérôme Rotten, the set-piece supplier.
It was a great save, and the referee's missed it.
Definitely brush Martin's fingertips. Well, it's been a real value for money first half at Ellen Road. When Troyes went a goal down after 5 minutes, they really looked there for the taking. And when Bowyer got the second, not only emphasised those thoughts. Keane. Bowyer. And Mark Viduka puts this one away. It's 3-1 to Leeds United. 2-4 Viduka.
Well, to me, that just proves Leeds have just got to up it a bit, and they can score when they fancy. Great early ball. Great run from Robbie Keane. And is it a surprise again that Lee Bowyer is in there to get the flick on? Great energy.
Appeals for offside, Peter?
Yes, I would say that was offside because of Lee Bowyer's touch. But we won't complain.
So Mark Viduka has doubled his season's tally inside a half of UEFA Cup football tonight.
I think they could go in 3-1 up and get a rollicking from David, I think.
Lee Bowyer, but there was an earlier infringement that the referee has given in Troyes' favour. Loa. Good turn by Rotten. Looking for Loco in the centre. Rotten blocks off Bowyer, who was the key player in the goal as to whether it was offside on his touch. There.
Well,
level.
Yeah, I would say that's a good decision in the end, but when I saw it happen, I thought it was offside.
Well, certainly you'd appeal if you were the side conceding it, and Alain Perez had a word with the assistant on this near touchline. But when he sees those pictures, maybe he'll revise his opinion.
Well, he might do, I think.
Viduka now is on a hat-trick. That's a long way wide. Well, it's a home week for Leeds United, but David O'Leary has been away on his travels. He's been scouting Champions League games over the past couple of nights, looking for suitable signings. Maybe the signing now is somebody's an autograph, is it, or a note? No, I think it's a note for the half-time team talk, which is imminent.
He doesn't look happy there. Nice problem to be 3-1 up and not happy.
Well, it hasn't been as crisp as the scoreline suggests.
I've seen Leeds play 100 times better than this, but that's their quality. Again here, see.
Kewell leading Meneri. Just good enough to stop Harry Kewell delivering the cross. As the referee blows for half-time. Well, very entertaining at Elland Road. Very good news for Mark Viduka, who's been short of goals. He's got his first 2 on home soil this season. Lee Bowyer, the other scorer for Leeds. And Patrice Loco reminding the English club that Troyes are an attacking force. 3-1 at half-time.
So, 3-1 to Leeds United. Gary Pallister is with us. More goals, Gary, but from where? For whom? Leeds or Troyes?
I think there's certainly more goals for Leeds, the way Troyes are defending. Every time they come forward, they're looking as though they're going to score. But don't discount Troyes. They've proved that they're quite comfortable on the ball and they're quite creative. There have been some nervous people in the dressing room if they hadn't scored that third goal. But it's given them a bit of a buffer now, and I'm certainly expecting Leeds to go on and maybe score another 2 goals in this game.
Can Viduka go on and complete the hat-trick? Let's rejoin our match commentators, Peter Taylor and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. Yes, Peter and I have been enjoying the events here at Elland Road considerably, as has Mark Viduka, who 2 goals to his name and an assist. And Lee Bowyer, as ever, expressing himself splendidly in a European context. Peter, delighted that he's come to join us tonight. Andy Gray, you might have seen swinging the golf club up at St Andrews today and making a passable impression of a professional golfer, I must say.
Well, I've been told he was unhappy that he was 4 under, which that can't be right, can it? That can't be right.
And David O'Leary quite jealous, I think, that Andy's been able to take part in that pro-am, because he's a real golf nut himself. very regular viewer of our golf coverage on Sky Sports. No officials out yet, and Toit finally sending out the full complement, just checking to see if there have been any changes. But as I mentioned earlier, they don't have too many options on the bench through injuries and the odd set of circumstance that meant one of the players they brought, they found this morning he wasn't eligible to play. Leeds successive semi-finals, first in the UEFA Cup 2 years ago and then in the Champions League. That sort of run has created high expectations in Europe for Leeds United. Troyes start the second half. They've certainly looked vulnerable defensively, as the scoreline reflects, but at times they've played with a real panache going forward. Loa.
I think because of the way they defended, Mark, I think David would have been saying at half-time, come on, let's finish it off tonight. You know, let's try and get more goals second half. Don't ease off, and try and get a really good lead for the next game.
In 2 weeks' time. Touched on by Viduka for Bowyer. He's back on his feet, Lee Bowyer, and Viduka looking for his hat-trick, and Bowyer scored! Well, it wasn't a move from the training ground, but it's meant a fourth for Leeds United, muddled in.
Well, it's just the start Leeds wanted for the second half. Exactly what David would have wanted. And talk about not give up. And that's exactly what Lee Bowyer is all about. I don't think he'll ever get one like that again. This is, he might be claiming the nutmegs and all here.
Through the legs of Danjou. So 2 now for Bowyer to go alongside the 2 for Viduka. Loco. Now Kuehl. Here's Loa. Handled by Viduka, it is. Loa. That's too deep.
Well, it's a good start. I just hope now they don't ease off, because you know, I'm sure the game's safe. They feel that way, but they really can do themselves a lot of favours, you know, for 2 weeks' time.
Well, a last-minute penalty in Tel Aviv. Chelsea, of course, with team selection difficulties. And Sky Sports will be bringing you the second leg of the Chelsea tie. As though Chelsea will have to turn it around on a 1-goal deficit. Would be Chelsea's first defeat of the match this season. Kuehl. Miniri, and it's a probing pass for the run of Gousset. Hart. referee reaching for his top pocket. It was a swing of an arm by Meniere, and the problems mount for Troyes. The referee, from his angle, had a clear view of that. Viduka flattened, and Troyes down to 10 men.
Well, the way he walked as soon as he saw the red card, I think it was a deliberate one, and it shows it. And can't understand why anybody would do that, especially when it's this stage of the game.
Oh, a little wink there from Viduka. I'm not too impressed with that, if that suggests that he's played a part in the dismissal. He's very quickly back on his feet. Alain Perrin having a word with Loco. Been a couple of incidents with Viduka tonight. That quick free kick that got Rotten a yellow card, and now Meniere. Whether he was just trying to hold off Viduka,
well, I think it was definitely
really swing the elbow back.
It was definitely an elbow, there's no doubt about that. But whether it was as hard as that, as I say, I didn't see him wink there, but that would be disappointing.
Well, this is a pretty problematic scenario for the French club, trailing by 4 goals to 1, having to play the last 40 minutes here with 10 men. They switched Olivier Thomas to a more central defensive position. He's on the ball here.
Yes, I think Boutel now is going to play one of the 3 midfield players there, so they've still got the front 2. So they'll try and stop the service coming forward.
But it is here, as you were saying, Peter, for Leeds to wrap up progress into the 3rd round in what happens in the first leg.
Well, that's what the players should be saying to each other now. You know, let's finish it off now. Let's go for a real cricket score.
We've got 2 players on a hat-trick, of course, in Viduka and Bowyer. I don't think Bowyer's got a hat-trick for Leeds. Another angle on net.
He got a little bit involved first half as well with Decourt there, so he might have a little bit of a temper on him.
This is Loco for the 10 men of Troyes. Boutal. Bowyer's left. Mills. Getting his foot in. Rotten has impeded.
That's where Leeds have to be a bit careful now, because the referee might want to even something up, and the French team might want to try and get one of those off to make it 10v10. You have to be careful.
Well, as you can see, a final score from Tel Aviv, and Chelsea conceding in the 89th and 90th minutes. So a lot of work to do at Stamford Bridge, in a match that you will see the 2nd leg of that 2nd round tie on Sky Sports. Headed out by Hart. Dacour.
So Leeds mustn't stop doing the easy things now. Easy and early, very quick and wide, and make the pitch as big as it can, as big as it can be.
Pure. Hart going ahead of it. Pure uses him as a decoy, tries to play it into one of the front men. In fact, Robbie Keane had turned his back. Rotten. Now Ferdinand. Mattia. thumping win in this match and the signing of Seth Johnson. A pretty good day's
work at the office.
Thakur.
If I was Leeds now, I'd actually go 4-4-2 now. I would go and get as much width as possible to stretch Twar as much as you can because of the 10 men. I think they want to protect themselves in front of the back players, so they're quite happy to defend in the middle of the field.
Boya, Viduka, Huel. Of course, what Leeds need to do now, and David O'Leary has shown himself to be an outstanding young manager in his 3 years in the job, but he'd like to win a trophy. Well, UEFA Cup is well, it's an inviting challenge.
Well, he's signing brilliant players, I've got to say, but all athletes, all very top quality.
Keane. Yellow number 7, Olivier Thomas, who gets the touch that concedes the corner.
This is where you fancy him with the extra height. I think another big man that got sent off as well.
That's their biggest player, Ranieri.
Disappointing service, that one.
A low one. From Hart, of all people. Got a chance to cross again. They'll have another chance to take a corner. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Leeds have already scored again, and Twar lost a player.
Backer's got to score tonight, Martin, I think.
Ferdinand doing a little bit of leaning. Either that, Peter, or you might say from what's happened to him, it'll be the night that he can't score. Should have scored in the first half, but Viduka got in the way. And was penalised for a foul on the goalkeeper when Viduka put the ball in the net after that. Another Leeds effort that didn't count to go with the 4 that have counted. It's a sensible adjustment by Twar to keep basically the shape. Instead of 3 up front, there's 2 up front now.
Yeah.
Donju, Loco, Boutal, now Leroy. And you can tee up Boutal here. It's not quite into his stride, so he had to stretch for the shot, but Martin really didn't have to stretch to save it. Party mood at Ellen Road, and it leads on the move again with Huel, with Mark Viduka, but it's not the hat-trick.
I think Robbie Keane's not too happy there, because I think that okay, it's a good angle. You've seen him score from there. Firm ball, good first touch. I think a nice little slide across the middle of the goals there. It's an easy goal for Robbie Keane, but it's easy from here. After his hat-trick.
And this time he went for power after those little and dinks in the first half. It's Gousset who's being sacrificed here for David Ahmed. He's a right-sided player. Right back or right midfield. It's as though it's the latter role he's got here. Forward by Ferdinand, on by Viduka, but missed the wrong side of Keane.
Again, you may not have seen it. Lee Boyd has made an incredible run again. He just doesn't stop running.
I think they estimated he covered 12 kilometres on Saturday at Anfield. Do that game in, game out.
Yeah, well, that's what he can do. We've got to do the Mexican wave here, Martin, haven't we?
Is it coming round our side?
I think so.
Bowyer's pass. There's plenty for Leeds to wave and cheer about. Prague conceded 4 goals to an English club for the second time this season, and maybe more. Ramsey. Ahmed. Ramsey trying to work it through to Loco. Thing for David O'Leary, Peter, is that Leeds haven't been overtaxed here in terms of a big Premiership weekend coming up against Chelsea, who of course have been pretty stretched by their travel and result tonight.
Yeah, I think that's where he'd have been disappointed they didn't score more first half, because I'm sure he'd have wanted a few more subs on as well second half.
D'accord. Leeds, I think they had 5 against 3 then, but they didn't have the ball.
No, unfortunately.
Loco. Ahmed. Far to their credit, still having a go here. Boutal just too high. Here's Jérôme Rotten. And it's blocked away by Ferdinand. Nigel Martin behind his captain, not quite sure where the shot was coming to.
Well, again, he's picked up the bits there. Rotten, he's got a great left foot. And I'm not sure Nigel wanted Rio there, but he stopped it. But no, give them full credit there. They're keeping going. They just can't defend.
Jewell trying to keep Tomo with the eyes there that he was going to play it back so that he could turn in. It's a runner on the right, and that runner is Mr. Perpetual Motion, Lee Bowyer. He's on the ball again. What a great pass for Danny Mills. Ertebis knocks it away. Viduka was coming into the sort of position where Keane was when Viduka hit the side netting a few minutes ago. Hart. Claw's challenge, but it breaks to Loco. Blocked by Ferdinand with an arm. Free kick to Troyes. Tremendous ball by Lee Bowyer.
I say, full of running again, fantastic pace again. One of those that the goalkeeper's in the position he wants to be there, so he's our favourite to stop that. So perhaps alongside the 6-yard box is a better ball.
Danny Mills hasn't scored a goal in Europe for Leeds, so breaking that particular duck might have been in his mind. D'accord. Sent crashing by Danjou. Quick free kick. Bowyer. Must make sure Leeds, they don't get sloppy here. There's so much on top. Circumstances so much in their favour. Surely more goals in the offing. Viduka. They just popped the header down quite to where D'accord was hoping for.
I think that's Viduka at his best, you know. When he knows that defender's there, when he can feel that defender, then that's when he turns them, he rolls them. I think that's when he's at his best.
David O'Leary about to orchestrate a change. David Batty ready to come on. Wins it. Harry Kewell went back as he struck it.
Felt a little bit for Robbie Keane there, because I thought he made another very good run, and on another day they'd have played him in.
Well, Batty's still getting some instructions from Brian Kidd. David O'Leary was yelling at Harry Kewell. And the game restarted, so they couldn't make the substitution. And you have to have all the right details for the fourth official. Bakker. Viduka, taken from him by Thomas. Now, Namzi. To his right. Boutal and Loco in the centre. Namzi, his first touch took him into trouble in the shape of Dominic Matia. That's what we don't really want to see so much of from Leeds. Simple and, as Peter's been saying, stretching the play, using the width of the pitch.
It's funny, after the game I can see the French manager going talking to David, having a glass of red wine, saying we played well and David won't be happy the way that Leeds played. And it's 4-1 to Leeds.
And it's enter David Batty. Great warrior for Leeds, of course. His first club, hometown. And Bakker wasn't destined to get a goal tonight, Peter.
No, but he does well for the team. He keeps getting forward. He breaks things up. Good size. But not a bad substitution in David Batty. One of the best strikers of the ball I've ever worked with, David Batty.
Even over longer distances?
Incredible longer distances, yeah. And I know he plays safe at times, but he really does strike the ball.
Maybe not from the penalty spot.
No.
There's a ball from Bowyer, and he struck that one well, to be collected by Harry Kewell. Bowyer on the edge of the area, and others will be arriving now if that rolls out for a corner, which it does just. He's got a lovely continuity to his play, David Batty. He gets it and gives it, and he's available like now.
Very nice and simple. People have said that we should get it forward more, but at times when he really does help the team keep the ball. As long as you've got other players in the team that pass it forward.
That's Rio Ferdinand does here to Robbie Keane, who's desperate to get in on the goal-scoring act tonight, having had to wait through the Champions League campaign as a spectator last season because he wasn't eligible. Scored his first European goal for the club at an important time in the last round against Maritimo. Of course, Leeds lost the away leg in Portugal. Sorted it out here. Namzi. Rote. Using Leroy. 3 in the box. Oh, none of them as tall as that. Well, certainly Alain Perrin's side haven't panicked since they lost Meniere. Rather scholarly pose by the Troyes coach, who did used to be a school teacher.
They've got nice balance. They've got really nice balance going forward. You know, they've got good left footers. Like I say, they're very, very decent going forward. It's just on the defensive one where they struggle a little bit. But a lot of teams would struggle when they play against Leeds away.
Iboyas collected a yellow card here. Just back, of course, from a European ban, an incident here at Ellen Road against Valencia. Alan Smith, fit again, bursting to be involved again, and he too back from European suspension. He fell foul of the authorities in the away leg of that semi-final in Valencia. Boutal, beautifully delivered to Manzin, but his touch wasn't quite up to the way the ball came to him.
I've been very impressed with Boutal. I think he can play as a striker or he could play in midfield, plays behind the front two. Again, another good size. I think he's been a good player. Put in the air.
And he's 31 now, Peter. He didn't play in France's top division until he was in his late 20s.
Well, if he fancies his season by the seaside, he's more than welcome.
It's one striker for another. But Robbie Keane knows in his heart of hearts that with Alan Smith about, there's a top competition for a place alongside Viduka, who always seems to play when he's fit, as the, if you like, the main focal point, the physical man, but a nice brotherly hug there.
Well, I think to be fair, they both can play alongside each other, of course, with Viduka as well, and two excellent players. I'm a great fan of Alan Smith. He's a brilliant player.
So Danjou, Boutal going in, good judgment in the air by Rio Ferdinand. Smith hooking it on for Mills, and just in time, Ahmed for Troyes. Rotten. There's another one that will take the shine to the left side.
Left footer, yeah. Great set pieces. It's a good player.
Dacour, Batty. Gone a bit too long, but he got lucky. There's no flag here, but the ball will skip away from Kewell. 20 minutes to go. Leeds scored right at the outset of the second half, but perversely they haven't scored since Troyes have gone down to 10 men. Danjou. Ahmed. Hamzin. Bowyer. For you Leeds fans, I can tell you Seth Johnson's squad number will be 20. Anyone looking for a replica shirt? There's exactly what number the new signing will be kitted out in. Of course, a chance of figuring against Chelsea here on Sunday. Rotte on the outside of Ferdinand, and it's bounced in front of Nigel Martin. Goalkeepers don't like that, but he showed his usual expert handling.
It's a lot of space in midfield now, and the Leeds have still got to be a bit careful, because to be fair to Troyes, they're breaking out very quickly. And if they was to get one back, it would be a bad one to give away. The Frenchman is having to go up the fourth official there, and it's amazing. I think it's the hardest job, the fourth official. He's the one that gets blamed for all the mistakes.
Viduka. This was a bit of confusion, because I think Bowyer might have been onside, but Alan Smith, who started to run, seemed to be too far forward, but you don't have to stop the play if the ball's going to run through to the goalkeeper. Now goes Dacour, challenged by Loa.
So it's all pretty tight in there. I still say that if you get two bits of width on both sides now, I think it will really help the passing and the options.
Slip by Hamzin didn't help his passing then. Bowyer. Closing down in midfield on Bowyer by Troyes collectively, and it's allowed the Loa to come forward here. Loco. The Troyes scorer tonight. Matteo and Roten. Matteo got the ball and had to.
He was certainly trying to get a penalty there, Roten.
Viduka. Now Smith. Batty. No flag. Harry Kewell, out comes Urtubise. Smith backing up the play, but the goalkeeper was helped out after making a brave save. It'd be quite a triumph for Troyes if they kept it to 4-1 to the final whistle here, but here's Amzine, and from time to time they have attacked as if one goal tonight isn't the end of their ambitions. Here's Ahmed. Well, they're now depleted.
They're very good on the ball. As I say, they're breaking out quickly, so I still say Leeds need another one.
He's playing the football in the penalty area at the moment. Mills. Smith ahead of it. Mills. Kewell. Smith. Congested area again. Batty. Viduka. It's almost as if they made so many chances earlier in the game that they feel it's a soft centre for Troyes and that they don't need to go wide, but at the moment Leeds not at their sharpest. Ahmed. Loco. Troyes got 5 forward. Boutal is one, and it comes off the head of Danny Mills and behind for a Troyes corner.
I think that Troyes have gone to really play 3-4-2, so to me the fullbacks of Leeds can get out, and if then some of the wide, if they played 4-4-2, the wide people can run the wing-backs away, and I think they'll have a lot of joy.
Coming on for Troyes is Mamadou Niang. Hails originally from Senegal. He's a striker, 22 last Saturday. And he's worked very hard, Sam Boutal.
He's a good player.
And that's been recognised tonight, because I don't think there are that many Troyes fans here to give him the ovation. The Leeds contingent have recognised the threat that he's posed. And is that the near post as the corner comes in. Danny Mills diverts it. Nice hold-up work by Smith, but Bowyer couldn't take it on. Thomas. The right man on the left-hand side here, Roten. But this time he didn't pick out his man, Neon. And Dacour does the tidying up. Viduka. Space to accelerate into. Smith on the right. Kewell through the centre, and Bowyer's there as well. Raja almost presented it to Viduka. Danjou. Quick off the mark, Matteo there to stop the through ball for Loco. Hart. Thomas meets it. Milton got to it, but only set it up for David Batty at his most ebullient. You can't imagine Leeds losing many games by 3-0, but that's the score they would be vulnerable to as it stands in the second leg.
Yeah, I think you can't see that at all, and I understand, I suppose, that they could be thinking about saving their legs a little bit for another important weekend. But I suppose we've been selfish and we want more goals.
Here's Mills. Oh, Smith's unmarked in the centre. And Viduka! The hat-trick won't happen. Not yet.
I didn't think that was far wide. I was waiting for Viduka to peel off a little bit there. And it went far wide.
Batty. Amzeen. Here's Ahmed. Field by Amzeen. And again, not quite passing the ball. It's been that sort of night for them. It's a strange thing to say, Peter. Yeah, but almost 80 minutes gone. They're 4-1 up. They're making progress, it seems, to the third round. But you and I have seen them distribute the ball crisper and cleaner.
Well, I think that just shows you how good they are, because that's what we expect. And of course, there's going to be nights where they don't play at 100% because of the situation, and they're 4-1 up. They know they're going to win the game, and they probably know they're going to win in 2 weeks' time. So, so they're looking after themselves. It's a long season.
Just to emphasise maybe a little lack of concentration there. Danny Mills lets the ball slip under his foot. Danjou. Rotten. But Dacour didn't have any free passage there, but they played it very well, Troyes, between Leroy and Rotten. And Loco, what a tremendous goal for Troyes. And it's suddenly 4-2. They've scored, although they're down to 10 men.
Well, I thought it was an excellent play. Just before that move, I was going to say they play the right way. They don't smash it long. They keep playing football. Great move down the left-hand side. Some lovely play from Rotani. There's a lot of pressure from Dacour. But he's still got a bit to do here, and it's a wonderful ball. Good run from Loco.
Well, 2 goals for Patrice Loco, and suddenly the scoreline not looking so secure for Leeds United.
Well, an excellent finish. So David will not be very happy with that now.
Well, we talked about them at the beginning. Champagne attacking, Van Ordinaire defensively, and that really is the way it's panned out for the club from 100 miles southeast of Paris. But their small stadium might well be packed to the rafters for a second leg that was beginning to look like a complete formality. It's certainly not now, because if it stays 4-2, and the nature of the game, there's no guarantee that that is the case, but if it does, then a 2-0 win for Troyes, and Leeds would go out.
Yeah. Well, I think that Leeds could definitely do with another goal now. I still think the scoreline is going to be okay away from home, because it means they've got to come out and get the goals, and I think that's when Leeds are at their best.
Was okay, or is he? Because made only a token challenge on Mills. Well, it's no exaggeration, really, to say Leeds need a goal in these last 7 minutes or so, just to feel totally celebratory about this first leg. They've got a corner, and they've got Ian Hart suddenly in a hurry to get across to take it. And Matteo coming up, and Ferdinand coming up as well. Bit of a push and shove between Amzeen and Smith as the corner was taken quickly. It'll be back to be spotted up again.
I think with Hart's quality, I must admit, I wouldn't take a quick corner here, because there's definitely a height advantage. 3 big Leeds players there. Seems to be under-hitting them tonight.
Batty. Dacour. Smith's turn. Oh, but he's penalised in any case. Sertabis has made some very good stops tonight. Makes another one here, but ruled an illegal turn, illegal use of the body by Alan Smith.
Well, the first time I see that, I thought it looked a really good turn. I thought the defender got too tight. Oh. He's
unlucky.
Held his shirt, but not so sure that was a good decision.
Certainly there was a push on Smith in the first place as well. Would have given it the other way, but that went the way of Troyes. Here's Loire and Rotten and David Batty. And another abrasive challenge. Rotten is not at all happy about it. Premiership Plus on Sunday, 1:30. If you need extra information, the phone number there on your screen. Newcastle against Tottenham. And on Sky Sports 1, Sky Sports Extra, Leeds United again against another team in blue, Chelsea, who have been beaten tonight in their UEFA Cup second round first leg in Tel Aviv by 2-0. Well, Patrice Loco has scored 2 tremendous goals tonight to emphasise that he's still got the talent. It took him to the top in French football, 26 caps, but none since he played against England 4 years ago. And on comes Djukic, a Yugoslav. He's a midfield player, but he's been the top scorer for Troyes in the last 4 seasons. Rotte towards Nyong, and they couldn't possibly get another one, Peter, could they?
Well, it would be amazing, and it's just going to make the second leg interesting, especially early doors. You know, if they was to go and get one early doors in the second leg, it would make it put Leeds under a bit of pressure.
Matty in there mixing it again, fairly this time. Hewitt. Swept away by Thomas. Only as far as Ian Hart's. It's Alan Smith looking to set up Dacour. Not an easy one to strike. Frank has gone up against Harry Kewell. Well, his players have done him proud again. Perrin, 45 years old, and he seems to have a very good grasp of the strategic side of football, learning about the European game. No previous experience before this season. Sorry, Peter.
No, I just think they work very hard for him. I think they're, as I say, they're very, very good on the ball. And, I think the manager will be proud of them tonight.
But it's not over yet. Leeds looking for a grandstand finish here. Danny Mills. Well, the flag has gone up, and Danny Mills is the type of character who believes there is a physical side to football, and he felt that he used his strength within the laws of the game here.
I think that was Danny's strength, I think. It's very positive going forward.
The one who's come through the under-21 setup.
Yes, he looks like Seth Johnson and all that. Why have they got the names on the shirts these days?
They're going to be like bookends if they're
not many.
Right back and left back, aren't they? Rotte. Rotten again is had so many touches on the ball tonight, and Troyes continuing to pass it with confidence, overconfidence there from Nyong. Unabashed that they've had to play some 40 minutes. Well, they will have played 40 minutes with 10 men. As I say, maybe I misinterpreted the wink by Mark Viduka. It was a decision that went in Leeds' favour when Viduka went to the ground. Certainly, the player went off, did use an arm. Ahmed. Amzeen. A minute plus stoppage time left. Before this second round tie reaches its halfway stage. Thakur.
I think because of what's happened now, Leeds have got to be a bit careful, because you don't want 4-3. You'll settle for 4-2 and be disappointed with your performance. But that will be good enough, I think, to get them through.
Mills. Djukic. Lovely play from Rodden again. Backs up Djukic. Boards up, and it's going to show 4 extra minutes. Leroy. Amzeen. Ahmed. Djukic, but Batty too quick for him. Kuhl. Taking on Troyes. Here's Viduka. Smith's onside. Has a look to see if anything's on in the centre, but Alan Smith thinking about just checking back and shooting himself. Kuhl. It's well wide. And in a way, it sums up much of life in the second half for Leeds United.
Yeah, I think if that was somebody going through there against Manchester United and it's 0-0, I think it would be really nice and positive, and it's a goal. Where now they're here, they're trying to make too sure, trying to run it in. Even here, you expected a one touch to go, and you tried to beat the person again. One of those nights.
Foul by Mattia. So I won't be in too much of a hurry to take the free kick. But the way the game's gone, I think up in Newcastle, they've watched it with great interest, and some of the information passed to David O'Leary from Newcastle's experience in the Intertoto Cup would have seemed to be very much spot on. Troyes are a talented team. They do not have so much talent when it comes to the defensive side of the game.
They keep going, don't they? They keep going and keep believing.
Ferdinand. And we get the side going in a manner to suggest that he feels that Leeds won another goal here. And here he is, Rio Ferdinand. Bowyer. Now Viduka, but he couldn't get it wide when it looked a pretty straightforward pass. Thakur has to really work to get it back. Djukic thought he was fouled. Flag is up against Kuhl, that must have been close.
I think it did look just offside for me here. Yeah, he hasn't really made a run. He's really earned the space there.
Well, there was a yellow card produced there, maybe for Leroy. Here's Neil. Here's Hart. And Thomas lets it run, and the evening has almost run its course here, and what a mixed bag it's been for Leeds United.
Well, it's a nice problem to win 4-2 and be unhappy with the performance.
Well, we've had 3 players tonight who've scored 2 goals in the game. 2 for David O'Leary's Leeds, Mark Viduka and Lee Bowyer, and when Bowyer scored his second right at the start of the second half, one thought that the floodgates would open. especially when Troyes were reduced to 10 men, when Meneri was sent off, but the only other goal in the game came from Troyes and Loco. And what seemed to be a really handsome victory for Leeds is instead a good one. But there is still work to be done in the second leg, and there have been opportunities for Leeds tonight to change that, to really settle it here in front of their own fans, with Lee Bowyer's 2-goal return to European competition after his ban. But Leeds are in the box seat, we shouldn't forget that. And it's been a very enjoyable encounter in which Troyes have certainly played their part. Leeds 4, Troyes 2.
Do you have any